Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's the trade of the day, Monday night Zoom edition. And usually I would go over Bitcoin and Ethereum, but we are in the midst of a 1, 2, 3 dip on a coin I like. So we are going to go to that now. So you guys should be seeing my Chili's 5-minute chart.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we're dipping. There's a big dip here, second dip, third dip, almost a fourth dip. This is on the 5-minute chart. This is a really good setup for the 1, 2, 3 dip. We hardly ever get them during the actual Zoom call, so I wanted to make you aware of it. I've got sushi up. I found this through the RSI SPY on iCoinPro. Sushi is in, let's see, it's a 15 minutes. Go to the 5. And kind of a one single long dip here. It looks like it might be heading for a second, but Chili's is looking like it has potential. Not trading or financial advice. This is just one you might want to put on your radar. I have on my 15-minute chart, I've got the MFI alert on the 20, looking for it to come back up, show some signs of strength coming back. And so we'll be looking forward to maybe getting a trade tonight on Chili's. Okay, threw a little curveball at you. Let's go to the bigger picture. And I've got my Bitcoin day chart up. And we are still in this larger range between 18.4 and 24.4. And what I'm calling kind of a mini range here, we've hit 20,400 on multiple touches and been swatted back down. So this is a pretty strong resistance. Some people call it 20,500. I'm looking at closes here, and none of them have been above 20,400 that I can see. So we just dipped down into low 1900s. We are around 19.3, 19.5 most of the day. It was a bank holiday in the US, Columbus / Indigenous Persons Day. So that may have had something to do with a lower volume and prices dropping. The stock market did something similar. So that's what's going on. Again, most of the news is bad on Bitcoin. Looks like Portugal is going to tax it. Used to be a crypto haven. Now they're like, just kidding.
Wow.
That's proposed, but not passed in the legislature. So we'll see. And yeah, I talked about stocks and heading down lower. Yeah, Europe's most crypto-friendly country makes sudden U-turn. That's the Portuguese. And that's a short-term rate. A year or longer would be their usual tax rate. So probably similar here in the US, where we have a higher rate for short-term tax profits than we do for longer term. So, however, Bitcoin is hanging in there at 19K despite all the bad news that's been thrown at it in the past couple months. So I guess that's one way to spin it. Ethereum.
Before you leave there, sorry.
Okay.
Do you want to take a look at the 5-minute chart to see how that compares to the Chili's chart to see if that's following?
Yeah, it's probably, since the sushi chart was heading down too, it's probably related. So yeah, we can see Bitcoin's dipping too. It's not like a bubble in a 1, 2, 3 dip. I don't trade Bitcoin on the 5-minute chart very often, but yeah, it's in a potential dip sequence as well. A bubble starting to form. It bounced off the SMA line here and dipped again. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Robert's right. It is in a dip sequence. Probably has something to do with the Chili's drop. And Ethereum is also sort of in this wedge or pennant situation. That looks like it might break through. See, we just passed 5 p.m. Pacific, so that's the UTC close. So it did close here at 1285, give or take. It has dropped now down below 1280, and 1250 is where this, if I drew this, straight left to right, it would be about 1250 would be the support range for the short term for for Ethereum. You know, the longer term range is down here to 1,000. So hopefully we'll hold that 1250 and bounce off of it. Okay, any questions on the market overall?
Just as a spin-off to your Portugal news, did you already discuss in the previous show the new EU regulations that are going to be coming down on wallets and KYC?
I did not. If you know something
that-
about it, go ahead and share.
Well, it's kind of a big deal because the EU is voting in, I believe, I don't know to start exactly when, but sometime in 2024, that all wallets are going to have to be KYC.
Yeah,
They're actually officially regulating this now, which is
yeah.
that's huge in general.
I have mixed feelings about it. If we could get some, reasonable regulation, both in the EU and the US and some of the other larger markets, then, if it's tolerable, that would actually open the doors to more institutional funds flowing into the crypto space, which benefits all of us, especially those of us in longer term holds. However, if it's really intrusive, then that sort of defeats the purpose, So I'm curious to see if some of the privacy projects, Zcash, Monero, and I think even Litecoin has a privacy option, if those will be regulated or maybe illegal, or how that will work. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on those things. Some reasonable regulation I think is desirable in the crypto space, but if they're really getting in our business, then not so much.
Hey, I got a question for Robert. Robert, how about cold wallets? Do you have to have KYCs for those, or just platforms that we're on?
I think it's probably platforms, I would think, but I'm honestly not sure. So you'd have to research that.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you, sir.
And it's probably why in the other group some of us are in, the carbon group, that KYC is going to become a requirement internally.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be the way the world was going.
So I think they're just setting it up like that now because they know they're going to have to.
Right. Good. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing else on the overall market, thanks for that, Robert, by the way. And we'll go ahead and see if we can find some more trades. We went over Chili's briefly. We might go over that in some more detail. Well, let's go ahead and look at that now. This is from iCoinPro, and it does look like it's dipping again. Yeah, still dipping. So we're past any short-term support. So we could try to guess where the dip would come back. And I would guess around here, around 18 cents or so would be a potential for the coin to bounce and work its way up. A better way to do that is to go to our 15-minute chart. You could do this on a 5-minute chart as well. A lot of times when I'm looking for an entry, I go to the 15-minute chart, but you can do it on the 5 as well. It's just going to be a little less likely to happen. So you can right click on the MFI or the RSI. We'll use the RSI in this instance. Add alert crossing up on the 30 value. And usually I do once per bar close, but in this situation, you just leave it on only once. And I call this a confirmation alert. So that's where I've got the structure I'm looking for, but I just want to make sure I get it heading in the direction I want. So that's my confirmation alert. But so that's how I would do that. I've already got one on the 15-minute chart. I think I'm going to stick with that one. So when the MFI is coming up, because I want it to break through this and then start working its way back up before I get in. You can do you can also do something like that on the MACD. Haven't really talked about that. But you can have the MACD crossing above. The MACD is the blue line. The orange line here is a signal line. I'm not sure we talked about MACD alerts before. Crossing, you want the MACD crossing the signal. So that's how you do a MACD alert. You select MACD, you want the MACD crossing, then you select MACD again, the signal. And I found this on the RSI Spy, so that's what I would put, as my alert name. Okay. Any questions on Chili's before we check out Altcoin Alert? Okay. See what we can find here. I'm on the altcoin radar. Easy mode is off. I have all the information with the setting. Going to reload. So I have most current information. Sorting by the AA score, getting some pretty close to 80. Aeon XRP, I was looking at that earlier. It's showing bullish at 79. It's down 8.2% today, or in the last 24 hours. So that's usually a good potential. The AA score is generally going to show us potential dip trades. We're sorting by some of these others are going to show us more trend trades. And what Altcoin Alert's telling us is that XRP has a 79% chance to go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. So let's see if we can look for a setup that we like. Got XRP open. It is currently in a dip sequence similar to Chili's. 1, 2, 3. I sometimes don't count this first dip, but when it's this pronounced, I do count it. So it's an art more than a science. So we've got a third dip, but we're still trending down. So on this one, if you want to take the XRP coming out of this dip sequence, how I would do it is go to this 15-minute and probably go with the RSI alert and have it crossing up on the 30. Crossing up 30. Make sure the bar is closed. Yeah, the bar is closed. Once per bar close. And this is going to be an AA score here. So that's how I'd handle that one. I'm not a big fan of XRP. I tend to short it more than I long it. So we do have a green candle printing now. So this could be a trade to get into fairly soon if you want. Okay. Yeah, we have good trade setups going right now. Any questions on XRP? All right, we'll see if we can find some more.
Yeah, I have a comment about XRP. I don't like it at all. It's a coin that's used for a gaming, I think, or something like that, and it doesn't respond the same as most coins do. So it's very easy to get burnt by it. Don't know if you find the same, CJ.
Yeah, I don't trade it very often, but if it shows up in something like this, I consider it. I short it way more than I long it. I can't even remember the last time I longed it, but if I see the flip side of this, if I see it up on the top, unless there's a news event, and this has been in litigation, with the SEC, so some of those developments have moved it. Then I'm more inclined to short it, but I did sort of chicken out the last time I saw what I liked on the short side. It had some here on the hour chart where it went way above the top of the Bollinger Band, and which is usually a good time to consider a short. And I didn't do that. So if you're fairly new to trading or day trading, you shouldn't really consider shorts and leverage. But Craig and I were a little more experienced, so it's something that we do with some frequency. And some of the others on this call, I know like to do it as well. So I hope I'm not talking over anybody's head. But when you get comfortable with day trading, and have some success with it, then, you know, start small and on some exchange where you can short things. All right. Any questions? Any other questions on XRP? All right, let's see what else we got. Tron is interesting. It's got a 77 score. Bullish on the long-term sentiment and Elder Impulse Daily, which is another sort I like to use. It was up until a little while ago. It's down a little bit, probably due to that Bitcoin drop. And let's check out Tron. Okay, on the 5-minute. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a 5 dipper and it's still showing red. So again, on this one, I'd go to the 15-minute chart and wait till I've got evidence of this coming back. So you could do any of these indicators, the MFI, you know, trending up, crossing the 20, the RSI crossing the 30, like I showed you. If you want to use the MACD, you know, the MACD line crossing the signal would be another one. And this is a slower indicator than these two. And the TDFI, the trend direction force indicator, I usually use for confirmation. If you want your trend direction force indicated, you can right click on this one, add an alert, and I go crossing up 0. And of the ones I'm showing you, this one's probably the least sensitive. So Tron AA score. I think I'll go ahead and I think I have another Tron alert already from this morning, but I'll go ahead and put that one in. Yeah, see if you look at, it's had a couple pretty good. I just find it's often too late, but you see when it crosses the 0 here on Saturday, it had a pretty nice move up. Now, Tron doesn't move a whole lot. I mean, even that big of a move on a 15-minute chart, it's not even 5%. But we like 5% trades as day traders, so. Allergies, must be fall.
Bless you.
Thank you. Okay, any questions on Tron before we look for something else?
No, you know, I'll tell you personally, I think Adam is looking prime right now. I've done 2 successful spot trades on that in the last 2 weeks, and I think the timing on it's good pretty much now.
We like Adam, solid project. Let's go ahead and, since we're here, check it out. 1, 2, third dip and coming up. This one's looking pretty good. It's already about to cross on the RSI. Usually I'll look at these two and see which one needs the most distance to move. And add an alert on MFI. Crossing up on the 20. Once per bar close. Let's give Robert. I already got you your suggestion as in my trading view. Congrats, Robert. I've been mooching off you for months.
I hope it's been successful. The next
right.
burger's on me.
Sounds good.
Guys, do you on these dips, on a strong 1, 2, 3 dip, anybody have a preference whether you spot trade it or do it through derivatives?
I've done hundreds on spot trades with success. And that's how I learned, how I started. I trade mostly on leverage now. I'd actually like to get back to spot trading because it's way easier.
Yeah.
Especially on Adam.
Yeah.
Like if this Adam trade went against me horribly, I just keep it. So
Yeah. This has a pretty good history, this Adam, and it probably will be no time before it's up to 13 or above, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, it might dip. I mean, if the whole market tanks, it might drop below 10, but that would be a good place to buy it for, for a longer term, either a hold or a swing trade. So thanks for that, Robert. Any other questions on Adam? I think we'll do one more sort on Altcoin Alert, and then we'll head over to iCoinPro. So another sort I like to do is long-term sentiment and then match that up with the Elder Impulse Daily. And whichever one of these has the fewest green is the one I'm going to do. So the Elder Impulse has 22 bullish coins. Long-term sentiment, which is the Twitter data, has 56 either bullish or very bullish coins. So I'm going to sort by the Elder Impulse since it has the fewest. And I'm going to match these up. When I see the match, that's something worthy of further investigation. We've already gone over Tron. So let's look at Stellar, XLM. And a quick question, little housekeeping matter. How am I coming through? Have I had any glitches out, or are you guys hearing me okay? Was my screen frozen or anything like that?
No, very clear today.
All right, good. I'm testing a new VPN, so.
Very clear.
All right, cool. Okay, XLM on the 5-minute. It's in a protracted dip. It's kind of hard to, I probably wouldn't count that one, but these 3 red candles here, I'll count that. It's my first dip. It's my second. I don't have a third yet on this one. And the MFI is flattened out here at 0 on the 5-minute chart. And the RSI is dropped pretty hard too. Let's look on the 15. Yeah, and
It
this one
looks
you
like
could
it's
put,
got quite a bit more to go down yet.
yeah, could be. So let's look at Bitcoin again. Yeah, it's dropping to, we lost 19K. Ethereum real quick. And yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's dropped below that area I had, that pennant I had drawn. Of course, we're only on the 5-minute chart, could bounce right back. All right, Stellar. Yeah, it's trending down hard. It's going to be the same alert I just showed you on the others we've looked at. I'd go with the 15-minute alert on either the MFI or the RSI or the MACD coming back up, or I'll go with the TDFI on this one. I haven't shown, well, I just showed an alert on it earlier, but cross up on 0. Once per bar. It's the Elder Impulse sort. And I'm good to go. Okay, went through that pretty quickly, but we've seen that kind of thing before. Any questions on Stellar or Altcoin Alert in general before I head over to iCoinPro? All right, iCoinPro, the home of the 1, 2, 3 dip. That's been mostly what we've been talking about today. Hope you guys have seen that training. It's not a bad idea to watch it about once a year and refresh your memory on it. And I'm currently on the Buddy Coin Crawler, which is one of the 2 information sources I like. The other is the RSI SPY. And since we have a protracted dip today in the market, a lot of coins are in this RSI SPY lineup. We're below the 30 value on the RSI on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and even the 1 day on a lot of these. There's some Bitcoin pairs mixed in here and some, fan tokens, things I don't trade. But, this Jasmy coin I've traded before. Optimism, if a name like Optimism, I should trade it, but I haven't yet. Internet Computer I've traded. I usually short this one, it's sort of in the XRP category to me, although it's not in litigation to my knowledge. SHIB, Cardano, and Chili's we looked at. This was higher up on the list earlier. We're all pretty familiar with Cardano. Let's go ahead and look at that one. You can click on the drop-down menu here. Trading view, it'll open a new chart, usually in the 5-minute. Okay. It had kind of a squeezier bubble, and then now it's really bubbled out more and then starting to come back. So 1, 2, 3, and coming back up. So this one looks pretty good. Bitcoin coming back up yet on the 5. Yeah. So we got 2 out of 3 green candles on Bitcoin. Might start heading back up or above 19K again. So this might be we might have some of those alerts going off shortly. It would be reasonable to get in on this. You've got 3 green candles heading up on the 5-minute chart. Everything about to cross, or at least trending, you know, the MACD is hooking, TDFI is back to 0. So again, it would be reasonable if you're interested to get in this one. Not financial advice, but you know, not a bad trade. To be safe, I'd probably want this RSI to break this 30. So
Wouldn't
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna-
want to be waiting for the second dip?
well, I think we've got those. Okay, Adam just went off. So some of these alerts are gonna start going off. Rather not trade them while I'm on. I'll have to look at them a little bit later, but to Craig's question, you know, it's sort of a matter of interpretation. It's bubbling out here, but this is the real bubble that we're looking for. You know, this is this bigger one here. So if you count this as your first dip, you know, this dip occurs in the, you know, in the squeeze area, but it's starting to bubble out here when this dip happens. 1, 2, 3. I think we've got our third dip, and we've got, you know, 4 green candles in a row. Looks like it's coming back. So that's how I view this. You know, Craig is probably saying that no, the dip starts here and this is the first dip. Is that right?
No, I'm just saying that I think it's going to dip down to possibly we're at the bottom of that first green candle again before it actually goes up. It's going to come back down somewhere around there.
And that's why I'd
So
usually go. That's why I like these alerts here on the 15-minute on the indicators. So if it dips more, you know, the alert won't go off. But if it does come back, you know, with some strength, then the alert will trigger. And on, you know, on this chart, I'd probably go with the RSI on this one. You know,
And the
crossing it.
volume has increased significantly right now as well,
Yeah,
on the way up.
yeah, that'd be my alert on ADA. Probably got too many alerts going right now.
CJ,
And,
what do you keep your,
Brian.
But
sorry,
Robert's talking about the volume here. All right, go ahead, Mark.
what do you keep, is your Bollinger Band on default, or do you do what iCoin says and puts at 50?
I do what iCoinPro says and put it at 50.
You don't like the third standard deviation in addition to it?
I've had that on my chart before, and it can help you get better entries, but I find I was missing some too. So I generally know where it's going to be, and what Mark's talking about is adding another Bollinger Band, and with another deviation that's gonna sort of parallel the bottom of the Bollinger Band and the top, you know, by a little, you know, maybe a percent or two. So, you know, if you're interested in checking that out, there's an iCoinPro training about it. Is that in the 1, 2, 3 dip training now? I haven't watched that in probably a year. Or did you find out about that on one of their other trainings?
I actually used to be, you know, a $100 member, and I stopped. And now the more I'm coming to your trainings, and like all the coins you just picked up, I'm missing the crawler quite a bit. And it is in the, I don't know where the training is, whether it's if they talk about it in the more advanced or not, whether you put it at 50 or keeping it at the second or third standard deviation.
Yeah, I think the
But,
basic 1, 2, 3 training just talks about, you know, the 50 value for the Bollinger Band. The third standard
Yeah, yeah.
deviation, I think, is an advanced training, if I remember right. And then, yeah, the RSI Spy and Buddy Coin Crawler I've used for a couple years now to find trades. So, you know, when we have a dip like this, you'll get a whole bunch of these show up, which this is a bit of an overload, in my opinion. So just pick out the ones that you like and that you're familiar with, and go from there. All right. Did you have any other questions, Mark, or did I answer that?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. So we could look at a few more of these, but we'll just see the same thing that we saw on ADA. So let's look at the Buddy Coin Crawler. And this one, I like to sort by the average low to the SMA. That's the 24-hour low. And the SMA line is that pinkish red line you see between the Bollinger Bands. And during the bull market, I was looking for 5% or higher. You know, the bear market, about 3.5. We got quite a few, well over 5 here because of the drop that we've had. So HNT I've traded recently. We can check that one out. Okay. Yeah, this one had a big drop on the 5-minute chart. Just how much was that? Yeah, 8.5% drop on one candle. Wow. Let's see, Bitcoin. It's pushing over 19 still. HNT. It's had one big drop. Hasn't really had a second drop yet because this one was so big. So I'd probably wait on this one. Go with one of these alerts. Like this RSI is still pretty low. It's down at 17. So we wanted to break above 30 with some strength. I think that's the alert I'd go with in this situation. Or you can even play it a little bit more conservative and go with a MACD cross. I think I showed this earlier. MACD crossing up. MACD and the signal. So once per bar close, and you're good to go on HNT. Buddy Coin Crawler. That's how I do that one. But I have too many alerts going right now, so I'm not going to take that one. Okay, any questions on, you know, the one thing we haven't done is looked at the trend alerts. We talked about all the dip trade alerts because that's what's going on right now. But what if you don't like dip trades and you want to go with the trend trade? Well, I've got my super trend buy and sell signal here. And it printed a sell signal, you know, way back on Friday. Wow. Actually, I tend to do these on the 5-minute chart as opposed to the 15. When I was using the chandelier exit, I would do that on the 15, but this one I like to do on the 5. Then I look for other confirmations when the alert goes off.
Does this indicator paint?
Does not repaint. I tested it a second time today. So
And do you use standard, it's standard defaults?
no, actually, thanks for asking. I did go over this in a little detail on Friday, but I'll go ahead and review it because some people only see the Friday and some only see the Monday. But the ATR period I've lowered to 1. The multiplier is to 10. Actually, is that the default? Huh. I would probably do. You know what? I'm gonna have to look at this again. I somehow did not save the right setting on this. Not necessarily the right one. This is the default, so there's nothing wrong with using the default. It's gonna go on these ATR periods based on what the chart's doing anyway. So if you're on the 5 minute, it'll use those periods. If you're on an hour, it'll use those periods. But yeah, they tend to get just probably, I only started using this recently, so I should probably spend some more time on it. But I was looking for a buy sell indicator when I realized the chandelier exit was repainting. And that one's usually more of an exit, like it's in its name, as opposed to an entry buy sell anyway. But you know, like I'm showing these alerts didn't work that well, though this one eventually did. You know, but you know, it went against us nearly 3% before this move happened. And this buy didn't do very well either. So if I'm showing you an indicator, I'd rather show examples that were actually, you know, profitable, but it just didn't work out that way on these. So that's
Have you
why I
ever noticed, I'm sorry.
kind of hit and miss on these buy sell indicators anyway, and they usually need quite a bit of confirmation.
Have you ever noticed if their buy and sell lines up with the multi-divergence indicator?
Yeah, that's a good point. Hadn't looked at divergence yet. Yeah, let's look at this one, even though this one does repaint, but they don't necessarily. Like, here's an example. Here's a buy, and then this one's showing a divergence on the sell side, you know, buy, sell. So, you know, what divergence is really look at, it's another way to find potential dip trades or trades that are about to, you know, that are about to move that in that way, or it's about to reverse, where a trend trading it's trying to keep you in the trend that's already existing. So which is better, trend or, you know, or dip? You know, that's a fight between traders. It's never going to be resolved anytime soon, and it really depends on the market. I love dip trading when in a bull market. It's awesome. You know, get that retrace and then get a good entry position and goes up again. Yeah, it's good stuff. When the market's just kind of, you know, essentially accumulating, the moves are smaller and they can't be more difficult to, you know, to interpret correctly. So I've been trying to do more trend trading, but actually it's fairly, I can't say it's new. I've been dabbling with it for about a year, but I haven't had consistent results with it. So I'm considering sticking with going back to the dip trading more and just using some stop losses. And I really hate stop losses, but you know, you gotta flex for the market. So I'd rather ladder buy, but you know, when the market's not cooperating, got to take that into consideration. Well, that was a bit of a rant. Did I answer your question, Mark?
And then some.
Okay. All right. Well, we're at about 40 minutes, and this is about the time I'm usually looking to wrap things up. Any questions on what we talked about?
One
Overall?
question, CJ.
All right, go ahead.
With the super trend, buy and sell,
Mm-hmm.
what would you think if you added some EMAs like a 10 and 15 to the chart to see it start to trend up
Yeah, that's
as a confirmation?
that's fine. Let me go back to my share. Another thing you can do, you know, Oliver's talking about adding an EMA. I even got that here. You know, let's see, which one do I have? That's 1 day, 20-day EMA. So in this scenario, it's below the 20-day EMA. So you go to your super trend and you would only take shorts. So that one might have been a loss, unless, depending on where your stop loss was. Usually if I do a stop loss on something like this, it's going to be either a percentage or the swing high, the highest place it was before. You know, I should give this more attention if I'm going to talk about stop losses. I'm running out of time. So go ahead and raise that on Friday's Zoom. We'll talk about that some more. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with using an EMA of some kind, exponential moving average to help you determine direction. Another way you can do it is use Heikin-Ashi candles. I don't think that's real useful in a 5-minute chart, but if you're looking at a 15 or more, you know, it'll show you trends. But again, these aren't real candles or averages. So, okay. And Oliver, you asked me something else. What was the other thing you asked you sent me a message? Okay, he's asking what an indicator repaint is. That's a good question. So I can show you better than I can. Well, I've gotten rid of my repaints, so anything that repaints. So it's an indicator that shows like a buy or sell signal, and then takes information that it accumulates to the right of that buy or sell signal, and then changes the buy or sell signal, which really wrecks any ability to backtest, you know, the efficacy of that buy sell signal strategy, which I don't even know why those exist. It seems pointless to me to even use something like that. But I do stick with the multiple divergences that I use sometimes are alert friendly, which is why I like them. And then I match them up to another divergence indicator that does not repaint. So that's how I handle that.
Great, thanks.
All right, thanks for your question. Anything else before we wrap this up? Okay, guys, thanks for attending the Monday Night Zoom. If you're watching this on the recording, I appreciate you too. Please check out the opportunities listed in the comments below. They help support the channel. And if you're in Carbon, stick around. That Zoom will start shortly. See you next time.